at a point, like you said, James, you have to separate the art from the artist. People have to be able to emote and share their emotions and say what's on their mind, especially if a journalist asks a certain question. Like I did a what was it for? If you guys saw Bagheads,
Yeah, Peter Mullen. It was amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, and Freya Allen.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, Freya Allen. Is that from The Witcher?
Allen. Yes, yeah, from the Witcher.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
Witcher. Yeah. I did the junket for that, and I got sent a list of things you don't talk about this. A lot of things on the list were political, but also personal, which is fine. But I was like, ooh, okay, that's interesting. So we know that with these celebrities, there's a level of media training, or this is how you dance around this topic, or whatever.
Rage Whale. Special guest episode.
We're excited for you to hear our new special guest. Today we have Amelia Clarke, who is a Kerrang radio host. So we start with discussing some of our favourite music and lyrics, as well as going on to the Crow soundtrack once again. Amelia also does movie reviews and was recently a host at Comic-Con, so we delve into some of her favourite TV and movies, more recently with Welcome to Derry and Sinners, among many others, including talking music within movies. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back, guys. Today we have a new special guest. We have Amelia Clarke, who is, I got put onto actually by a friend and colleague, Laura Stroud, who is, you're her brother's partner, is that right?
I'm her husband's partner.
Oh, her husband's partner. Okay.
Oh, wait, what? Does that make sense?
What?
Wait. Wait, what?
What sort of relationships do you guys have?
Is this another Coldplay situation we've just exposed?
Ducking out.
Her husband is my fiance's cousin. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never said that out loud. So when you said it, I was like, wait, what? But yeah.
I think I'm even more confused now. And for the people not watching, Amelia's come on wearing a Crow t-shirt, which, as everyone knows, is probably mine and James's, if not Drew's as well, favourite film. It's the one we all agree on should be up in the top. But yeah, you mentioned just before you came on, we should talk about the soundtrack. But before we do that, do you want to introduce yourself about you and your music career as well, radio career and stuff like that, because it's really interesting.
Yeah, man, of course. Yeah, thank you. Well, number one, thanks for having me. I can already feel this is going to be super duper fun. But yeah, I'm Amelia. I do content creation all around horror films, all that jazz. Also, I'm a presenter for Kerrang Radio and live host. So I'm doing Comic-Con on Friday. So I do Comic-Cons. Also do like some junkets for Kerrang as well. So chatting to celebrities about films, horror films coming up, all that good stuff. And that's me.
Cool.
Amazing.
I love your life.
That sounds cool as
That
anything.
sounds epic.
How did you get into the radio side? How did you get into working with Kerrang?
Yeah, I just want to take some notes.
Get your pen and paper out. It's one of those things because growing up, I always wanted to do presenting, always wanted to do hosting, and then started to work in marketing. So I've worked for Fender, like bits like that. And then I was just like, I really want to get into hosting. I really want to do it. So I started to do a podcast with my fiance all about music and horror films. And then at that time as well, I was also doing like a lot of hotel radio. So there was like a hotel in Birmingham that had radio. So I used to do that. That was like a volunteer position. Then hospital radio. Then that moved on to internet radio. And then I had a really, really rubbish demo because I didn't know what I was doing. Like I didn't know what I was doing. But all my life I've listened to rock and metal music. Like that's just me. And I was like, I would love to get on Kerrang. Like I would love to get on Kerrang. So I did a really, really rubbish demo, like I said, pinged it off to him and didn't hear anything. So me and my fiance were still doing the podcast, all that stuff. I was talking to another radio station, which I won't say which one, but you can guess, another rock radio station. And I was talking to them for a while. And then Kerrang came back and they were like, oh, hey, we just listened to your demo. Do you want to maybe do another demo? I was like, yeah, cool, I'll do another demo. Oh, here's my podcast. I'm doing this podcast too. Did another demo. And I was like, hey, happy Thursday. You're listening to Amelia Clarke. Like, welcome in. Da, 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 da. Then on my podcast, I'm all like, yeah, hey, guys, what's up? So anyway, let's talk about how rubbish the new Crow is or whatever. And they were like, do another demo, but make it sound like your podcast, because that's obviously you, and you sound like you're doing a radio voice. And I was like, am I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
So a radio station didn't want you to do a radio voice, basically.
Absolutely. They were like, just be yourself, just chat. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Did that, and they were like, yeah, do you want the chart show? I was like, hell yeah, I want the chart show. And then, yeah, just been there ever since.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
That's incredible. So it just went from like 0 to 100. That, well, obviously there's prep and stuff for that and bits back and forth, but straight in. You didn't kind of do a small thing. You went straight into the charts.
No, because I was
That's
thinking,
insane.
oh, they might offer me like some cover or something like that. But I did a really meaty email, like, I've done hospital radio, I've done hotel radio, I've done volunteer radio, all this malarkey. Then they were like, yeah, do you want the chart show? And I was like, okay.
I
Bite
can see
their hand off.
cogs ticking in Drew's head now. Because
Yeah, right.
you're just thinking,
Well, yeah, I haven't got the hospital radio. I've got a friend of mine that does the hospital radio in Dorset,
Nice.
and I think it's a really good thing to do though, because you're literally doing all of the different kind of mechanisms and all of the kind of switcheroo between talking, playing that track, talking about something else that's happening after that track, or different events that are happening. You have to juggle so many different, there's many kind of metaphorical plates going on to
So many
know when
things.
to speak and not to speak.
Well, Drew's an actor and a voiceover actor as well, so he would be good at radio, I think.
Yeah, I'd like to do it at some point, but I just think my kind of like overactive brain part, like, and having kind of dyscalculus might not help, because you have to be quite organized, though, I imagine, right? In the sense that the timing, it looks all quite
like regimented. I guess.
Yeah, in a way. I saw a guy showed me behind the scenes when I was on Love Radio in Andover, and he showed me how he was trying. He had all these different little color little patterns and how he'd try and switch it in. And he goes, we're going to make it look like it's live, even though I'm going to slot you into this thing. It will sound like it's live happening, even though we're going to do it now. And I was like, well, that sounds so surreal. How you're creating fake time. You're a magician. You're a wizard, actually. And then it was just how he slotted me in, and he goes, we only have this amount of time to put it into this little gap between these other bits. And I was like, this is mental. And then he says, I have to mention this song because that's the one we're playing, which will sound really random now, but this is what's happening. I'm like, this is so surreal. Like how you have to remember all these different things.
It's mad to get your skull around. It is, but it's like, I was lucky, I guess, because before I got Kerrang, I messaged loads of presenters on just DM'd people like, hey, I want to get into radio. Any tips? What should I do? Who should I email? Am I looking for a playlist person or like the head of Kerrang? Like, what should I do? So it was whilst I was at Fender, and I'd literally finished Fender, and then for hours after I finished my job, be emailing people, DMing people, all of that malarkey. And but I help people out. People message me all the time, like, how do I get into radio? How do we do a demo? I'm more than happy to help out anyone, because it's the unsaid. You just don't know. So yeah, it's nice to help people out too.
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a reminder to say we love and appreciate you all for listening to the podcast, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, as this really helps us continue to progress and improve the content and keeps us making these fun episodes for you guys. Oh, we're also on these things called Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us there too, as we share short, funny reels on the reg that you can share with friends if you like. Now, back to the mayhem.
That's lovely though, but you really put in the graft though. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like what you hear, like what actors do when they're like handing out CVs or they're emailing or they're writing letters to directors. Like, I saw you on stage, I loved your play, and like everyone's just trying to get work, but like you really put in that kind of like 9 to 5 of just getting yourself out there, of trying. You didn't just do it on a whim. Do you know what I mean? It was almost like you were kind of manifesting, going, Kerrang's what I want. Kerrang is the penultimate, and it's beautiful. But I think you've got a great voice. Like just hearing your voice, it's like whatever people are going through in life, they tune into radios because of that kind of energy, and it makes you feel like you're not alone, and like you kind of lift us up on our day. So, or if people are kind of feeling a bit sleepy, like I'm going to put on the radio and see what's going on. Like, hey, welcome. It's like
you don't put
people up.
Kerrang on to relax to. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, true, yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. I'm just going to meditate with a bit of Kerrang. You're like, okay.
How do you right? So when you're doing the radio, how do you juggle? Because as we know in the metal community, as I'm also part of, we're quite strict on what we like and hate, and we're quite over opinionated, I'd say, generally speaking. So how do you do you just have to ignore things that you know is terrible or you don't like and just go, well, there's a terrible one. I've got one for them, one for me, that type thing. Because there's the commercial stuff and there's the stuff that you like.
That's such an awesome question, because like Drew said, I like to just be positive, and I like to just be like, hey, so I play loads of music on my show. There's a playlister, so I don't get to choose the music. So there's logs that you have to go with, all that stuff. And sometimes there's songs that I don't like, but I just say, did you like that one? Do you remember that tune from early 2000s or whatever? Like, you don't need to mention or like talk about everything. But there's one thing that really divides us all, and that's the when Download releases, who's going to be playing Download.
I was going to bring that up, but we want to be positive, don't we, as well?
People get so angry. People get so angry. Like when Venga Boys were announced last year, people were losing their rags. They were going off it. And then...
That was amazing, to be fair.
I thought that was just for a laugh, though, right? Isn't that just like a wild card?
Yeah, it's just for the crack, and people loved it. It was absolutely packed. I was like, look, you lot were complaining and you're all here, aren't you?
Kev, I thought you were going to go and get your Venga Boys CD then or something. Just nipped up as soon as they were mentioned.
I just have to let the dog out.
I do like the way, though, how passionate people get about a Download lineup, yet everyone's just given up on the Reading lineup. They give up on that years ago. They just expect it to be bad these days.
Yeah.
Well, I remember back in, I reckon it was 2004 maybe, when Prodigy played Download for the first time, and they played the Radio 110, the second main stage, when Download was a bit smaller. I think it was just 2 days. And people complained about that, but that was the busiest tent of the weekend. You couldn't get in. We had to battle our way in. It was insane. And then Prodigy were like a staple. They came almost every other year for like a decade. And that kind of opened the floodgates for like the fun bands and stuff like that. Like this year, because you got like Electric Callboy and people like that, which are genuinely awesome anyway, but they kind of divide people because it's kind of, it's not exactly straightforward metal, is it?
I had a similar experience at Download. I couldn't tell you when it was, probably 12 years ago. And Mode Step were playing in the tent to the right. Yeah. And I was like, I was quite into, like, everyone had their little moment with what's it called? The music. Not drum and bass.
No, it's more like it's like jungle.
Yeah, everyone had their little 5-minute obsession with dubstep, and I was like, I'll go and check them out. It was between bands. Oh my word, the mosh pit was insane. Yeah. Like, it was crazy.
But that's it with metal. The funny thing is, like, as Amelia will know as well, and James as well, like, you go and see some grotesque heavy bands, and between sets, when they're setting up equipment between one ridiculous heavy band to the next heavy band, they just usually play pop songs. It's like from Britney Spears to Venga Boys to like stuff like that, because everyone in metal's got comedic timing.
Was that to break it up though, just to give people a bit of a rest from? No,
it's just to be funny. Like,
okay.
Sometimes the bands choose their set list in between for a comic level. Sometimes it's just the house DJ that knows that we're all there for like time, but we will all go like that to like the stupid shit at the same time.
Yeah, they'll like whack on "Come on, Eileen" or something, and everyone will be like, "Oh, come on, Eileen!" It's ridiculous. It's so funny.
And you get people growling to like pop songs. Go,
Come on, Eileen mixed in with the corn. That would be a
it.
nice little. Was the Prodigy one? Is that with was that Firestarter where they didn't sing those bits because the guy that passed away, and they did it in saying we're not going to sing those bits.
Well, Keith Flint passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah,
and I thought that was really beautiful that they were just there, just playing the whole thing. But it's like we know that one of the most important parts is literally missing, so it was like an ode to him. And I thought that was really beautiful that they weren't just trying to fill in those lyrics. They're like, nah, there's only one person that ever did those, and he's no longer with us, and we respect that. And that's beautiful, man.
But that brings me to the whole kind of controversy we've got at the moment with Linkin Park and how people like Linkin Park are headlining next year. Obviously, Emily Armstrong, I think, is the new singer. People are like, you just leave it alone. But I was like, if Mike Shinoda believes that the Linkin Park project isn't over with, more power to them. However, I'm not really a fan. I love Chester Bennington too much. He was such an icon. His voice was absolutely insane. So when you actually hear Emily Armstrong on those tunes, it just doesn't hit. Because obviously the lyrical content of Chester was so dark and just depressing and just heartful, it doesn't hit the same.
I think my 2 cents on that is I've got no interest in seeing them because I think them songs were personal. And I think he sang with emotion. And she's a very good singer, a very talented singer. But I think, bearing in mind the guitarist left as well, didn't he? He didn't want to do it anymore. I think they maybe should have gone, yeah, we are going to keep the name Linkin Park, but it's going to be all new material. Like, we're going to leave them songs in the past. We might do the odd one, but for me, someone almost singing someone else's diary, like, it just doesn't work. And if I wanted to listen to Linkin Park play old, if they were like, we're doing a show and we've got like a whole new album. Do they have a new album? They probably do, actually, to be fair. I'd go and watch it, but maybe. But I'd have to listen to it and like it. I kind of almost like Linkin Park because of the meanings of the song. They weren't like Slipknot songs that are sort of just, some of them probably have meaning, but a lot of them, they're just songs that people could cover. But I don't know, something about the way he ended as well. It's like, that's when you're like, oh, okay, so now listening to them songs, that makes a lot more sense. But she's very, very good, and they're very good together. But I think maybe whenever I see them, they're always doing the old songs.
I reckon it's more for the younger generation, like for us who grew up with them.
Maybe
not bothered,
I think if it is for a younger generation, it doesn't hit quite as hard. It should be called Linkin Theme Park, because then you'll be all right. Do you know what I mean? Then it's not mixing it up, and you're not walking over sacred ground.
Sure. I mean, they've got bills to pay at the end of the day, haven't they? So can't knock them for it.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, James. I completely agree. It's like singing someone's diary. I've had, I won't get into it too much because I will cry, but I've had 7 friends commit suicide. So it's really, really, really close to my heart. So the way you describe like reading someone's diary or singing someone's diary is spot on. But it's just like, I get as well about the younger generation and reintroducing these songs to different people. And like, Gen Z, is that what it is? X was it?
No idea anymore.
Gen Z, because we're just all...
all the Zs. I get that, but it just... Hearing Crawling or any of the songs from like Hybrid Theory or whatever, it makes me feel weird.
It's exceptional karaoke, isn't it? It's professional level karaoke.
Yeah.
Well, it's like people were saying as well after what happened when people went back to revisit the lyrics, like you were saying, to kind of read between the lines is so much darker and harder to... It really hits, doesn't it? Because it's actually almost like there's something going on behind the scenes of,
and there was almost like foreshadowing and stuff like that, because
100%.
You didn't know at the time, but then you read it, you're like, oh, it's like, are you a fan of the Architects?
Yeah, I like Architects.
Yeah. I am one of those boring people that have kind of gone a little bit off them these days, but I still think they're good. They're just not. There's like 3 albums that, the main 3 albums, they're exceptional. And the album before, the guy died from cancer, the brother.
Yes.
Yeah, he died from cancer at the age of like 23 or something, and it was horrible. But once he died, you listen to the album that they released the year before. They've literally got a song called Cancer. They've got a song called Cancer, and every song is about pain and dying, and I wish I was gone, and all these sort of things. It's not even subtle. It's so fucking obvious, but no one knew he had cancer in the public eye, I don't think, until well after that album was released. So it's so powerful. Like, that's why Architects, no matter what they do, and all power to them again, but they'll never beat those 3 albums because it came from such a tough time. So they were forced to make incredible music,
I will say one thing, I think, which is why Linkin Park hits a bit harder. I don't know how old are you, sorry?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Oh, 30.
Okay, so when did they come out? 2000, 2001, Hybrid Theory?
Yeah,
around
that.
So we were all pretty young, and the whole mental health thing was way in the future at this point. Like, it wasn't a thing. So we were listening to even their very first song, One Step Closer to the Edge, or One Step Closer. You don't think of that and think, oh, it's a really sad song. Because like the whole mental health thing didn't exist until it did exist, but it wasn't like everywhere until almost maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
I think it was just cool, angry music, wasn't it? It was just
it was fun, angry music, and then now you're like, oh no, it wasn't fun, angry music at all. It was like,
it wasn't angry.
When you're 16, you don't think like that, do you? So now the kids are in a world where that is a whole thing. They're now listening to it and instantly going, oh, that was a sad song that the guy at Tops himself did. But we were like, oh, we didn't realise for like 10 years.
Yeah. There's no way I thought this conversation would go deep this early.
Let's get back on the light stuff.
But this is the thing. I think these conversations are important because this is a perfect example, though. These are the things that do need to be discussed. And for anybody listening to these episodes, we're so quick to kind of like put out the ash of these kind of like real and deep and painful and hard conversations. Because like, okay, let's go back to something jolly. It's like these things are just as important as the jolly stuff, because otherwise this will have too much power over us. We need to be able to have conversations like this to allow people to feel that the stuff that they're carrying isn't too heavy. Because that's the irony. People don't want to open up and talk about things because they think, oh man, this stuff's way too heavy. But if we're like, no, do you know what? Please put your stuff on the table, man. Let us know what you're going through, because then maybe we can kind of like sieve through it and help you find a solution.
Well, that's just... Oh, sorry, Drew, go on.
No. I was just saying that's just my kind of 10 cents on it, because I'm a big advocate for mental health, and a lot of the stuff I do deals with like mental health and suicide awareness and things like that. And similarly to you, I've lost a lot of people to suicide, and it's the idea that when people are so young and they don't want to stick around, but they can't tell people, I think it's really important for us to be able to have that conversation so people can have that conversation. That's the irony.
That's it. I mean, I grew up going back to like the Linkin Park kind of like lyrical text and stuff. I grew up with a mom that's quite high in mental health. So I was always quite listening out for things, especially in emo, rock, metal. Like there was things that kind of hit me differently, like Avenged Sevenfold, A Little Piece of Heaven. Like that hit me differently. Like those tracks hit me differently. But you're so right. It's important to talk about with your mates and not to be like, oh, I had a really shit day today. But no, never mind. Anyway, let's move on. Talk about this. It's so important, honestly.
Because I think it's Neck Oil, or this beer company, they've done something incredible where they've got inside the packets of crisps you have with your little beers, you pull it out and there's like questions to ask friends. And they're quite loaded. They're quite loaded questions about what's going on in your life, or do you have something you're looking forward to, or have you had a difficult day this week, or whatever it is. But it's the idea of getting people to start asking questions beyond, did you see Love Island, or have you watched The Traitors this week? Or it's like to get away from those things and have real conversations that aren't just kind of, they go deeper under the surface. They're not just surface level conversations. It's like, no, I want to know how you're feeling, man. Please tell me. Like, you know,
that's a double win as well, because you get to find out a bit more about your friends and an excuse to buy beer.
Yeah.
All the beer and all the questions.
And the crisps are probably really nice too, as well. So great work, Neck Oil, getting people to talk and open up. Beaver something, and Neck
Sponsorships
Oil.
available.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Also,
like it's. Oh, sorry, I was going to say
no,
real
no,
quick.
go for it, Amelia.
It's Sam from Architects who went on Daniel P. Carter after Tom had died, and I think they released a new track, or maybe it was a new album. I can't remember, but people were really slagging him off. Oh, Tom, there was the writer. Tom did it. Oh, now he's gone. Architects is going to be shit. They were being so horrible, and he went on Daniel P. Carter and just cried. He phoned in and he cried, and then everyone was like, oh, it's actually a real band and a real person, and like someone is actually reading all the malarkey we're saying online, and this is actually going to a real person. But yeah, and then he spoke about mental health and how his mental health's been in the bings. He's obviously just lost his bandmate and friend. But yeah, so important to talk about.
And to be fair, musically, Architects are still fantastic, because the album they released then was called Drew. You'll the Architects are poetry. Like, Drew's a poet. You'd like them, even though you wouldn't actually like the music because you're not into heavy music. But it's an album called For Those Who Wish to Exist. And there's a lot of deep conversations in there, and I think most people didn't like it because there was a couple of soft songs he started singing as opposed to growling, because he growled 90% of the time. Then
Maybe he's just trying to rest his voice, guys. Give him a break, Jesus.
Yes, he goes quite hard, but yeah, no, they're all still good. It's just I don't think they'll ever. But that's the same with anything. Like, when you talk about any band, if you grew up with them and you listen to certain albums, no matter what album comes out now, it's never going to be as good as the album that got you into them.
But isn't it that famous thing that bands almost, they what is it? They kind of, what's the word? Where they almost jinx themselves, with the best album ahead of time, and then you're like, now when you're living in the shadow of your best album because the first one you released is an absolute banger, and now people can't. Everyone's going to measure it way up.
You spend your whole life creating a narrative, create the best thing you possibly can.
Yeah.
And then a company goes, there you go, that was amazing. You now got 1 year to give us 12 more songs. What? It took me 20 years to come up with that.
Yeah, but then then they go even further and go, top that album. You're like, what? Are you kidding? Like, that was like the best album I've ever written. Like, and again, the headspace, like you were saying, Amelia, like the idea of where people are, it's the things that happen in our life that creates those tracks and those songs and those lyrics. And if different things are happening and it's like, well, I've just been, in the shed and I've just been doing a bit of gardening and I don't really feel the rah this week. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what's going on? So
there's always room for rah.
There's always room for rah in the garden.
Room for rah, yes.
Yes.
But it's like, if you look at a band, say like Bring Me the Horizon, that have been around for ages now, and they started off doing really rah-ing music, really like scarily mute, like it was really, really like intense, like Chelsea Grin, all that stuff, Chelsea Smile even. And now they're more like Radio 1 friendly, and they're more kind of like rock popish, I would say. And then the older fans are like, no, we liked it when you did the other thing. But just the general metamorphosis of a band will go through so many different stages. And then, like you said, Drew, labels will be involved, like different people, different management, and they will also change and alter sounds too, right? It's not all just down to the artists themselves. Like, they'll see what's kind of happening in pop culture or what's happening in other aspects of like pop culture or whatever, and be like, okay, let's try to fit your music into that, because now we can get you some sync jobs behind like Stranger Things on Netflix or whatever. Let's make some it's all tied together, all of it.
All you need is a Jordan Fish. That's all you need. That'll fix music.
Don't get me started on that Fish, honestly. Oh god, everything is dude.
It does sound similar. Yeah,
everything is sounding the same. Like Poppy, Courtney Plant, and Amy Lee from Evanescence came out with the tune, banging tune. But it's just John Fish basically is a producer, and he's worked with Bring the Horizon, and he's working now with a lot of artists, and everything just sounds fissionated.
I do love. I'm a big fan of Poppy. I love Poppy, and I love her progression.
Yeah, it's great.
And in her last album, I loved it, but it was like metal by numbers. But I still loved it. But Bring the Horizon are a weird band. Like I'm in my 40s, so I grew up with Bring Me the Horizon when everyone hated them because they were so extreme, but they're a little prick emo kids. But I liked it. And then when they got softer, when people went off them, what was the album? The really I forget what it was called now. I'm not very good with names, but that I actually really quite liked, and I liked. I think because they did it in a unique way, whereas I think people got annoyed with Architects because they went from heavy to fairly soft in comparison, whereas Bring Me the Horizon changed entire genres and made something interesting, and then came back, and it wasn't the same watered down. It was complete different trajectories. So like I saw them like the other year, and their stage performance these days, saw them just before they did Download, and wow, that for a person who prefers heavy music, Bring the Horizon just flawless live, incredible.
Well,
I
just think
saw
when Slipknot did it though. They came out, started singing all of a sudden. Everyone's like, "Wait, what? They can sing?"
But Corey Taylor was already singing in Stone Sour, so like we knew he had a sick voice, right? Because he already was singing in a different project. But then, when he started to incorporate it into Slipknot, which was like the heavy thing, everyone was like, "Hey, what's this? What's going on?" But
What's going on over here?
what's going on? What's all this?
Well, that's
But
because
Slipknot,
Corey Taylor was an amazing vocalist because he's like
oh,
Apocalyptica, he did all this other stuff as well. But then, but Ollie Sykes is not a good vocalist. He could only scream. He couldn't sing. He's taken singing lessons the last few years to be average. But as long as he's average is still croaky and growly, we're gonna love it.
it's
Basically,
but then you go down the trajectory of like all these artists that have blown their voice out, like Howard Jones from Killswitch, and who else? M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold, he blew his voice out as well. So it's like, if you can sing and you want to mix a little bit of that in, now we're all getting a bit older. If you want to take the vocal cords, if it sounds good, I'm down for it. Like, but
yeah.
yeah,
I saw Killswitch Engage like when I was like in 2001 with 36 Crazy Fists and 5.0, and at that time, that I was like 18 or 17 or whatever it was. Killswitch Engage were too heavy for me. I didn't like them. I was like, whoa, this is. I went for a 36 Crazy Fist, and they were like, whoa, that's too heavy. That was before Howard Jones got involved, and then it was like 2 years later, Howard Jones came in, and then I started. That's when that was my progression into heavy music. But to go back to your T-shirt on the opening minute, we were going to talk half an hour ago. You're wearing the Crow T-shirt.
Back to the subject we started 45 minutes ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Tangents.
When I in 2000, what was it, 1994? I was 10 or 11, and my parents, when tapes existed, the first CD that I ever owned was the Crow soundtrack. So I was obsessed with the film.
no way. Have you still got it?
Yeah, got the CD downstairs. Yeah.
Sound nice.
What? Because that got me into metal. Because that's the first time I've ever heard anything like Pantera or Rage Against the Machine and Violent Femmes and
Nine Inch
Stone
Nails.
Pilots, Nine Inch Nails, all that.
Yeah.
Henry Rollins.
What's your favorite on the album then?
Nine Inch Nails. Like you can't beat that scene with Eric Draven going across the roofs and Nine Inch Nails playing. It's sound.
The guitar riff is insane.
It's perfection. It's perfection. I'm gonna get too excited about it.
It gives me chills when you talk about it as well.
Yeah, no, honestly, like that whole scene. Like, I'm very lucky I didn't do it because I'm kind of glad I didn't do it. But I did want "It Can't Rain All the Time" tattooed on me, and told my dad, and he was like, "Yeah, no." But I love that film. It's not only gorgeous, but that soundtrack just married so stunningly with that film. It just, But that Nine Inch Nails thing, so good.
I will have to say a close second is The Cure when he's putting on the makeup.
The Burn.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah.
Because whenever I hear that song, is it the greatest song in the world? No, but it's a good song. But it just makes me think of that whole scene when he's like doing the flashbacks and that, and smashing the mirror and all that. Classic.
And that's what we're missing in horror at the moment. Like, I did a video about like what's your favorite horror soundtracks, like and we used to, in the early 2000s, that kind of like teenage kind of slasher boom. the soundtracks were so sick. Like the new metal soundtracks were freaking awesome. Like I'd love to go back to that. Just like pure powerhouse rock, metal, and new metal on horror soundtracks. It marries so well.
Wasn't we talk about this film Seven a lot, which we all love, but isn't Nine Inch Nails in Seven as well? Closer to God, isn't that the?
Yeah.
Or am I getting confused?
Oh, on the intro.
Yeah. When he's like carving his fingerprints off, he's carving off his finger.
It's on the outro as well. It's like it's the same
Oh,
song, but
that
they've done
sounds
something
so
different to it
wild.
at the end.
And
That
the
was
way
the song
that
that Limp
the lyric,
Bizkit ripped off a bit.
and the way that the lyrics build up, and go closer to God, and then it ends like, and then it says Monday, and you're like, I'm fucking in. Like,
Remember when
one
Limp
thing-
Bizkit stole the lyrics? And in the song, it was like 9 Inch Nails get knocked the fuck out. And they did part of that song.
Yeah, they didn't steal the
No, wait,
lyrics.
what?
They took the piss out. He didn't like Trent Reznor, so Fred Durst wrote Hot Dog and wrote loads of stuff against Trent Reznor, and he wrote so many of his lyrics against him that Trent Reznor sued him and now gets profit every time someone plays a Limp Bizkit song because there's so much of his lyrics in it. So he now makes money off of the.
that's genius. Well, it was hot dog flavored water, chocolate starfish, and hot dog flavored
Yeah,
water.
if you
Whatever.
listen to that song and then listen to 9 Inch Nails, there's like a whole section that's like basically the same.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's that one.
Yeah, so it's proper
That's
cheeky.
just proper plagiarism there. You're like,
It was blatant and he got busted.
Although it's annoying that Nine Inch Nails have done the whole film for Tron, which I'm not going to say. It just looks awful. The soundtrack's the only good thing.
I'm going to watch it just for the soundtrack.
The soundtrack is freaking awesome, but the film also. So I saw it twice. I saw it with my dad, then saw it with my fiance. The film is not that bad. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm not a Tron franchise human, so maybe if you're like super duper into Tron, you'd be like, wait a second, this is really shit. But for somebody that just likes film, likes sci-fi, all that malarkey, it was all right. The ending, I guess you guys haven't seen it, but the ending is hilarious. It's really, really dumb. The ending's really dumb. But the film itself was fine. The soundtrack elevated it to the sonosphere because it's just so badass. But the film is all right. It's not that bad.
Do you think maybe it's because the film can't quite live up to the soundtracks that they're like, the film's okay, but it's the music that I'm here for? You know,
most reviews have said that it is the best. It's the best Trent Reznor music video ever, but it's not a great film. But who really cares about Tron anyway? It's not like a big enough franchise for anyone. It's kind of like,
yeah.
I think people got excited because Jared Leto joined it, basically, but
I don't think they did.
Leto.
I think
I
they
don't know
were
if anyone's
hoping.
been excited about Jared Leto being in a film for a
No,
No,
while.
I think they were hoping.
I was more excited about Gillian Anderson. I'll watch
They were
anything.
hoping. Yeah, Gillian Anderson's awesome.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think they were just hoping, but yeah.
Oh, what was the loaded question? Because I already know. What was the last gig you went to?
Last gig was literally when
2 nights ago.
Yeah, it's Sunday. It was Hailstorm and Bloodywood.
How was that? My mate went to see Bloodywood recently and said they're incredible.
So I went, it was a PR thing just for transparency. So I went to see Bloodywood, and I'm not really a fan of Hailstorm. So sat and watched a bit of Hailstorm, obviously watched all of Bloodywood. I've seen them twice now, and they're absolutely sick. They're so amazing. More people need to freaking watch them and listen to them. But unfortunately, which we'll probably get into at some point in the podcast, unfortunately, I was sitting there with Alec, and then some racism was happening behind me about the band. And I was like, do I say something? I was like, Alec, I might have to say something. He's like, no, it's okay. I was like, okay, cool, it's fine. But that's another reason why we need to get more people of colour in rock and metal, because the things the people behind me were saying at that show was absolutely revolting.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it happens. Unfortunately, it happens a lot. I'm a massive, obviously, advocate for more people of colour in rock, metal, horror, just nerdy spaces in general. But Jesus Christ, yeah, really, really ruined the evening. But yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's fucking horrible. So
Yeah.
Drew won't know. I don't know if James does. Bloodywood are like an Indian band. They're like a metal band. So it's proper screaming like a metal band. But they've got like the original like drums that you'd
I
have
think
like
I've seen them. So there's a couple of bands like that, and Mongolian bands coming through and things
Oh,
like that.
wow.
And it was a bit
yeah.
different.
But I wouldn't
Yeah.
like when we were talking about it with my mates. Granted, one of my mates is of that descent. His name's Saeed, and he's more British than all of us put together. But visually, you wouldn't have guessed that. But anyway, he's like a big fan of that, and we just had his wedding. He had like a couple of weddings, so he got married, and he goes, "I'm having a white wedding and an Indian wedding," and they're completely different vibes. But to be fair, the Indian wedding was batshit crazy. Like you weren't allowed to drink because the family was Muslim, so you had to kind of respect that. But they brought on a band that had all those drums and stuff, and it was absolutely amazing. So when Bloodywood came out, him and my mate went because it was in London, and I'm not down there. And I bought them the vinyl as a birthday gift, and they were just telling me how amazing they are. But the only kind of feedback I've ever heard about them is just that it's fresh, it's interesting. I've not heard any racism myself, but then again, I might not be an air shot of that type of
We're
stuff.
not in them channels, are we? Or them like circles where you'd hear that.
I hope
So.
not. No, live you don't know who you're standing next to, unfortunately. But in your sphere, you hopefully wouldn't hear much of that anyway.
Oh
But
God.
that's a
Oh,
shame.
sorry. Oh,
Well, I was
yeah.
going to say, thank God for Jordan Peele is what I was going to say when I just took up one
I was going to
note.
bring him up. Yeah, he's
Well, I was just going to say when you said we need more, more diversity and black people in horror, and Jordan Peele absolutely just knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
And I'm always queuing to see his films. The way his mind works, the characters, the story, like the twists, the turns, like he's amazing.
I think the funniest thing with him is he's a comedian, and he strictly makes horror films. Because
Yeah,
Key and
yeah.
Peele is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's
the
brilliant.
one where they're talking about there's a crowd and there's like a thing, and they mention there's like a Indian guy, they cut to an Indian guy, like a white guy, they cut to a white guy, and then they say like a gay guy, and it keeps cutting to Jordan Peele, and he's like looking like you see him trying to move around, and every time the camera guy cuts to him, he's like in a different place, and one bit he's like under the chair. It's so funny. Or when they're doing the reading the class names out wrong, and he's just going like, it's just so
Oh
funny.
yeah, I've seen that.
It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
And then his films are just all horror films, just such a
super serious.
switch, isn't it?
But
They
they're
do put
also.
some- Sorry.
Go. No. I was just going to say that they're kind of like interwoven with really kind of clever political standpoints, and like they've got some really interesting nuances. And you're like, oh, that's really clever and it's deep. Yeah.
I call it like the Jordan Peelification of horror. So I freaking love Jordan Peele. I speak a lot about black horror all the time. Can't get enough of it. But there's something that's happening that now when this project's coming out with a black cast, like a majority of black cast, people think it's a Jordan Peele project. Or the way the films are marketed, if there's like a black casting, it will be like from producer Jordan Peele or blah 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 blah. Like Antebellum, which is there's not enough time for me to bitch about Antebellum because I bloody hate it. But they marketed that like from the producer of Jordan Peele, and he was very much loosely involved in it, but they really pushed that forward in the marketing. And also him that came out this year, Jordan Peele again, really loosely. I think it was just Monkey Paw that was involved in it, his production studio. I think it was that was the tie-in. But then now I feel like using Jordan Peele's name to kind of gather in black audiences to come and watch horror films that they might not have seen before, or like they wouldn't gravitate towards if there wasn't Jordan Peele involved, which is a good thing in one way, but also a very big poo thing as well.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the when you have like a successful director, irrelevant of color, race, age, whatever, if they've had a success and they're even something minor and something else, they'll use their name quite big. But like with Sinners, to give it an idea as well, like with Ryan Coogler, I don't know if you've seen, they had Hurricane Katrina documentary on Disney, and it was all about Ryan Coogler. It was Ryan Coogler presents this documentary on Hurricane Katrina. And when you look at it, there's about 12 producers and he's at the bottom.
Right.
He was probably consulted for a perspective and asked had a 10-minute conversation and he's listed. He's got nothing to do with it, but his is the only name. The director is not even on the poster for this documentary.
Oh,
It's kind
that's
of the
right.
equivalent of when DVDs were first a thing, and you get a DVD player that came with like 50 DVDs, and there'd be like just whoever's the most famous person, their face would be the entire DVD cover, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, what
even
should
if
I
it's
put
like a
Brad Pitt's
cameo.
massive faces on there? Like, nothing about the movie.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really interesting because I think we've seen so much change when it comes to the marketing of movies and how it's so interesting how you can blatantly see films are being marketed to a certain demographic of people or gender or whatever. Like they did that with oh God, what was it? I didn't even watch it. What was it called? Megan 2. Did anyone see Megan
I
2?
want to
Not
see
seen
it.
it.
It looks fun.
it does look
It
funny, to
does
be
it
fair.
does look
It's
fun.
just Terminator 2, but with dolls, right?
Right, yeah, they tried to do like an action version of Megan, but they really all the marketing was towards like a gay audience, really to an uncomfortable standpoint. So it'd be the actual tagline for the film was "Hold on to your vaginas."
Wow.
Look
Yeah,
at
she says that in the trailer, doesn't she, at the end?
I'm just feeling
yeah,
like it's like for gays and ventriloquists because people that love dolls. You're like, okay.
right.
It does look fun, though.
It looks really fun, but it hasn't been like moved to the top ever of my watch list for this year. So it's just kind of like
No.
floating on my watch list.
When
But
it's
it was
free on Prime, I'll give it a go.
right, yeah. When it's on Prime,
Yeah.
I'll probably whack it on.
I put off watching Megan because it looks so shit, the first one.
Mhm.
And it's just about the little doll doing the spins and the flicks and stuff like that. And it's like, it's gone to social media. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that put me off. And then when I actually watched it, I was like, well, that little girly dance thing is for like 5 seconds. And the actual film's pretty decent, actually.
Mm.
So
yeah.
the new one, even though it looks crazy and stuff like that, I think it still will be quite good, I hope, or just fun at least.
I feel like it'll be a fun watch. You'll be like, I don't. You know what's really bad, and I speak to my fiance and my friends about this a lot. If you watch a film and you don't even say it's bad, you're just like, eh. You just you don't really have. It's like a baseline reading of emotion.
We
There's
do
no
that a
like.
lot.
Do you do
Meh.
that?
Was it like the meh emoji? Like meh.
Like, I
Yeah.
think we did it before this program. We were talking about it, and I was like,
Mm,
eh, eh. Got nothing good,
yeah.
nothing bad to say. It's just,
Yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for it. I do like it.
I like
Do you
it.
like it?
Sorry,
Jordan
Amelia, what were you
Jordan
saying?
Peele. Going back to Jordan Peele. My Jordan Peele take normally gets me told off because I think the best thing he's ever worked on is Candyman, because I
Oh,
bloody love Candyman. It's my favorite horror movie. Is it?
nice.
Is it? Yeah, it is. The first Candyman is my favorite ever horror movie. Whatever Candymans came after that, I don't care about. Not watching them. When I put off watching the new one in 2004. I don't know when it came out, probably
14.
5, 6 years ago, because I was like, oh, another bloody remake. Not interested. It's my favorite film. Not watching it. Then I got bored and was like, right, I'm watching it. And then I realized it's a sequel. It's a sequel to the original, a direct sequel about the baby from the original being grown up, which you find out halfway through the film. And it is a proper slasher as well. And Tony Todd's in it,
And
kind of.
he's one of the writers for the screenplay on it.
Oh,
Really.
Tony Towers.
No, Jordan Peele was,
Oh no, I was like Tony
but
Towers.
Nina DaCosta
Nina DaCosta.
directed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Such a
And
good film. But yeah,
and
the original Candyman with Tony Todd, that to this day holds up as well. Like a lot
oh,
of 80s, 90s that was, 90s horror and that, it kind of is a bit laughable now. Like you watch the old Nightmare on Elm Streets and they're a bit stupid. Or like Chucky, you're like, it's a little doll, just throw him out the window.
It
But
was 2021.
Candyman was
Candyman.
terrifying. Oh, it's good shot. Candyman was proper terrifying with the bees at night. And oh, it was just that urban legend, wasn't it? It was really cool to see a proper sequel.
I was just going to say the lead guy. I don't want to butcher the actor's name because I don't want to try and pronounce it, but he was absolutely amazing in Watchmen, the TV series they did,
I didn't see
which
it.
was mind blowing for HBO. I don't know if you've seen that, Amelia.
No, only the film. I didn't even know there's a
But
series.
if you loved the film,
Yeah.
this is what upset me. It felt like Watchmen just kind of the TV series just went under the radar, but it's like one of the best things I've ever seen. 8 episodes, and it's just phenomenal. Like
Ooh.
profound filmmaking, profound characters, and like you're saying, how they can make a film that was incredible on 2 hours and maybe a bit 2.5 hours into almost 8 hours, and still add all these different nuances for the characters. And it was just, I highly recommend that, Amelia.
I'm gonna watch it. But with Candyman, the really cool thing about it is, if you like was to draw out the timeline of the whole film, Tony Todd isn't even in Candyman that much. Like, he doesn't even appear that much.
Probably about 15 minutes, if that.
Right? He's not even really in it, but the sheer presence of the man, the timbre of his voice, the whole malarkey is absolutely stunning, and it solidifies in your brain that it could have been him just in the whole film, but it's not actually true. He's absolutely just, I love Candyman, but that's why I was quite interested to see the Nia DaCosta version, because I was like, okay, let's see where we're going to go with this. Let's see where it's going to go from like a more modern lens or whatever, before we knew about he's the baby in the fire. But I was like, let's see also a female director. What is she going to do to it all? And the themes that they kind of injected into the story of Candyman, like gentrification, classism, like all of that stuff, Cabrini Green, that's all like gentrified. It was sick. It was, and not enough people have seen it as well, because a lot of people, I think, were really turned off that it was, it's a remake of Candyman. No, it's not. There's a lot more to it.
The best thing was, I remember watching it, enjoying it, like, this is cool, slasher film, and then it's about 45 minutes in, maybe even half the movie, and then you twig he's the baby, and you're like, son of a bitch. Like, this film just got so much cooler. Because it doesn't tell you, it follows on, it doesn't let you know, you just have to work it out. And it's about halfway through the film, you're like, oh my God, that's the baby.
Yeah.
How you see the artwork is starting to drive him crazy, though. Like, I love that. Like, he's obsessed with these paintings that he keeps doing, and like, it's the more he's focused on this kind of demonic kind of character role of the Candyman, his work is getting better, and more people are like, whoa, this is profound. What is this emotion that he's portraying on these canvases? And as he's becoming more obsessed, his career is kind of starting to go higher, but at the cost of his own mental health and his own, it's genius.
It's also a horror film that has the balls to have a bad ending, because he obviously dies in the end, doesn't he? He becomes the Candyman. So it's like, very few horrors these days, like, have a bad ending. Like, I've just rewatched the 3 recent Halloween trilogies, and, you know, the good guys survive. Like, a couple of them croak, but the main ones survive, and you know they're not going to die. Whereas with that, you were like, but
don't you find that those ones stick with you more, because it kind of feels a bit realistic? Like, I think in films, we're always trying to make them happy endings, but in life, things don't always go to plan. So it stays with you in a more kind of haunting way, and you went, oh, that was like,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, when it gets to a point that Michael Myers is on his 5th movie trying to kill bloody what's her chops, Jamie Lee Curtis, and he still hasn't managed to do it yet. He's killed 1 million other people in the meantime that he can't catch his old age pensioner who's just like pottering about, and he's stumbling about everywhere. Or even Scream. Like, Scream, you know the main ones aren't going to die, and the bloke's falling over and everything. It's like, but yeah, Halloween, Michael Myers is pretty useless at killing old women, isn't he?
But Amelia, does that make you hate or fear the character more? Because if you look at your Freddy Krueger or your Michael Myers or whatever, or your Ghostface, I mean, the thing is with Ghostface, we already know that it's a dude in the suit, right? It's not an entity, it's not whatever, it's someone in a costume, right? So I think to kind of keep that kind of like whimsical, campy nature of it, it's like, will he kill? They're probably not.
It's like Scooby-Doo, isn't it? Live action Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Are you interested in the new Scream? Have you seen the trailer?
Scream 7 looks great.
It's not for me, unfortunately. It's not.
No.
Yeah, dude, it's not for me. Like, as a matter, I mean, you can't see all my stuff. There's Ghostface, right?
Oh, yeah.
With the flowers.
Are you just giving Ghostface its flowers and then that's it now?
That's all I need to see. I freaking love Scream. I love Scream so much, but just unfortunately, how Spyglass did Melissa Bavera, I can't get on board with it. I just think it's so grim. Like as somebody that, of course, I don't really get political with my content, of course, but like I said, speak about Black issues, and I was like, if I was acting in Scream and I don't know, touch wood, another George Floyd situation happened and I spoke about it, would they sack me? I can't get on board with it. Do you know
That's
what I mean?
ridiculous.
Just for people to speak about their views on real life stuff that's affecting people and to lose their job, I think is just so grim. And it's literally such a shame because I was, really, really hyped to watch it. But
So
just think
I might be naive. What was the story there? Who spoke out and got sacked?
So
Are we
Melissa
talking about Neve
Bavera,
Campbell? Oh,
no,
Melissa.
no. So actually, that is another thing though. But Melissa Bavera spoke about what was happening in Gaza, and then they sacked her. To make a very, very long story short.
But this is what's scary, right? Sorry. Just this is where it feels like we're properly in an Orwellian state right now, because the freedom of speech, regardless of being, a well-known actor or you've been connected to certain movies, God forbid you have an opinion on something happening in real life, not in movie life. You're talking about something that's actually happening, and these are real people.
Yeah.
And then that actually gets your job tanked.
And that's every reporter's job, is to interview people, to get scoops, to get opinions, to get interesting, and then make them headlines. So they want to hear people's opinions. And I know there's an argument where artists should just shut up and just promote the movie, but I disagree. If you're a human, you've got as much voice as anyone else has. Just because you've got a bigger platform, if you're using it for good, why not?
I just think they need to be able to have a separation between art and artist. Like if I'm directing a film and one of my actors is a complete bellend and just doing stupid stuff all the time, he's gone like full Ezra Miller, the one that kept stalking people. It's like, just for 6 weeks, don't stalk anyone, don't rob anyone, because you're a knob, you're a really good actor, yeah. So I'm not gonna sack you. Just do your bloody job, and then you can go and stalk whoever you want. Just separate.
Yeah, he's a shame because he's good, and obviously he's not going to be working for a while now.
No, and he's come back out of the woodwork now, looking just as mental as he was before.
Oh, has he? Old Ezra.
Have you not seen when he come back the other week?
No.
He's back.
He's back. I like it. Oh no. But yeah, just to say, I do completely agree, because it's like we're living in a world, not to get too oh, Ezra, what?
That is a pretty dress.
That is
a nice dress, but he looks like Jack Sparrow walked into Dorothy Perkins, doesn't he?
Wow.
Dorothy Perkins.
Yeah, he does.
Each their own, but you're trying to get a job here.
Sorry, go ahead, Amelia, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, it's like we're living in a society now, not to get too meh, but it's like we have social media and things like TikTok and Instagram, and people can develop really, really dangerous parasocial relationships with celebrities, right? So I kind of get that whole media training malarkey, don't say this or don't say that. But at a point, like you said, James, you have to separate the art from the artist. People have to be able to emote and share their emotions and say what's on their mind, especially if a journalist asks a certain question. I did what was it for? I can't remember the film. I feel like it was Bagheads. If you guys saw Bagheads.
Yeah, I did, with Bill Peter Mullen. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Freya Allen.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, Freya Allen. Is that from The Witcher?
Allen. Yes, from The Witcher.
Yeah.
I did the junket for that, and not to get into too much, but I got sent a list of things. You don't talk about this. Don't talk about this, and that's the first time that had ever happened to me while I've been doing interviews and junkets. I was like, that's really interesting. Because a lot of things on the list were political, but also personal, which is fine. But I was like, ooh, okay, that's interesting. So we know that with these celebrities, there's a level of media training, or this is how you dance around this topic, or whatever. But I think what Melissa Bavera, if I'm remembering correctly, I think she just posted something on Instagram it was that kind of, she posted
That's
something
ridiculous.
and then said a little comment like, you know, da 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 da, and then she was off the Scream project. And then Jenna Ortega also followed and left the project after, like, you know, as a friend.
Massive respect for that, though, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
They're
backing up.
two main characters, for God's sake. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, don't you want to
not like they're
protect
bit
her?
parts.
From number 5 and number 6 as well. Like, carrying your franchise, and then you just kick them off because, God forbid, they've said some truth about a terrible situation in the world.
Right, and because they were driving home that whole core 4 thing, like with the twins and Miss Bavaria and General Ortega's characters, like in Scream 5, I think it was.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now the core 4 ain't happening, so what are you going to do now? And then, of course, another reason why I'm also not too happy about Scream is they've chosen to bring back Neve Campbell, who famously quit Scream because they wouldn't pay her more money, and she was like, you know, there's a bit of dispute with money. And now she's coming back. So it's like, oh, okay, so you guys probably lost Melissa Bavera, and General Ortega was like, hey, Neve, how much money do you want? Take it all. We need to save the thing. So, yeah, this makes me feel very bleh.
Very grimy.
Yeah, big with the grime.
Neve Campbell, who famously can't act either.
That's now just tarnished the Scream 7 trailer for me now. But I see that now.
Yeah.
I can't unsee that.
I did want to ask, because I know you're talking about it a lot on social media at the moment. What's your kind of take on we talked about it on Instagram briefly, but what's your kind of take on Welcome to Derry? Because obviously this week we finally got Pennywise appearing.
Yeah.
So what's your kind of take on the program so far?
I am absolutely loving Welcome to Derry. I think it's freaking sick. I think a lot of people are saying it's really boring and it's really slow. And oh my God, it's so slow. And where's Pennywise? We haven't seen Pennywise. But I think, well, it is obviously a shape-shifting entity who appeared as a pickle human and as a mom giving birth and loads of other things. So it's been around.
And a lampshade.
And a yeah,
like Ed Gein
Oh,
style.
Yeah.
That was insane.
So the entity has been out dipping and doing it, but he just hasn't appeared until obviously episode 5 as the clown, which everybody wanted, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's great. I think what they're doing with the whole Dick Halloran thing and the whole Shine thing is so sick. I love the world building. I think just the characterization is sick. I think we're going to get 2 more series.
Yeah.
I
Really?
think, right?
Yeah, there's 3 seasons and it's going in reverse. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm excited.
That's
Yeah.
Because I did say to you, like,
go. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I did say to you, I wasn't a fan of the extreme amount of CGI. I mean, it's still good, but some of it is a bit off-putting because it's so. Excuse me. It's so. Sorry, the cat just walked past. It can be a little bit distracting, but I really like the characters. I like the kids in the program, so I'm still going to watch it, even though I think some of it's a bit cheesy because I think the filming and the style of it, and like you say, that the character that can shine. Because I like the fact that Stephen King's world's coming into it, because they mention Shawshank, because one guy gets put in prison. So it's like, don't put me in Shawshank. You get The Shining, obviously. And in episode 5, the new one, it goes full on The Shining, like properly full conversations in the brain. And number 5, it clearly is giving us Stand By Me vibes. I mean, that's been trickled in all the time because there's a bunch of kids, but the scene where you're in the tunnel of the sewer and they're walking past in silhouette in sections, it's like perfect for Stand By Me style.
Oh, sick. Yeah, like we've even got like bits of Doctor Sleep in there as well, like mentioning the whole thing with Dick Halloran with the box, like that was mentioned.
Oh yeah, the opening Pandora's box thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just it's sick. I'm really liking it. Dude, that CGI is absolutely like it's not good. It's not good, but it's not enough to make me stop watching it because I like it so much. The bit with the kids on the bike, I think it was episode 3, episode 4, I don't remember. When they go
getting chased.
The graveyard bit.
God. Oh, it looked like Haunted Mansion,
Well,
didn't
it looked like
it?
the Frighteners. It reminded me of the Frighteners because Kev just watched that recently with.
No, the worst CGI so far is the big eyeballs. What the fuck was that?
Oh wow!
That was ridiculous.
But
And
do
then
you,
her using a saw to trim them off. And then in the next scene, she's just got one eye patch
Yeah,
under the
one. I
other
was
eye.
like, Bab, I
They
think the
both
damage
came
was
out.
worse than that. Yeah.
It reminded
Yeah.
me of Total Recall. You know, the woman when her head starts going. It's
do you
like
think they've done
flaking
it?
and stuff, doesn't it?
Because
Do you
again,
think
some of the CGI, even though it's not, I mean, it's technically very good, but it's like when it's a little touch, like on Pennywise with his big teeth, that's quite
Sure.
that
cool.
can be scary.
Yeah.
And that the his wife when she was in the tunnel and she was just stood there and she did the and then
Oh, that was
Cool. Yeah, it was
That was
cool.
good.
It was cool.
those.
Yeah.
So, but when it's too much, when it's a whole ghostly or a big thing running for ages,
oh yeah,
it's
through the
just like,
woods.
oh come
yeah,
on,
yeah. But do you not think they're trying to do it to create like a kind of nostalgic, fun '90s? Like, as in, like maybe the CGI was amazing, and Andy went, "Can you make it a little bit shit just so it feels more '90s?"
But can you
No
remember
one
the
ever
shit? Remember the original It? It was just a flashing light most of the time, and someone just turned the
Yeah.
torch off and on in a tube. Like that was
Yeah,
what most of it was. It was like
the original It is terrible. It gave me nightmares when
Yeah.
I was like 7 years old, but it is technically rubbish if you watch
I
it.
heard voices for about a week. I swear, I thought like Pennywise
Wow.
was living
had
with
your
me for a
parents on a wind up. They showed you a scary movie then and freaked you out for a week.
yeah, probably. But it was
But
hardcore, man.
I wonder if there's more Stephen King in there we haven't noticed yet. Other films being
Well, there's the
referenced.
turtle though as well. You know, he's famous for his turtles. There's loads of little objects that are connected to things. Like,
Okay.
but I like how they're expanding the world. Like you're saying, the bit in It Chapter 2, when Mike Hanlon's character, he's talking about the things falling down, and they find a bit of the rock that fell from the meteor when it landed,
Yeah.
and the fact that they have it kind of like glowing. Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah. It's
That was
sick.
so cool how they're expanding on that world essentially. Like,
And also how like Mike is. That's his dad, isn't it? Will's dad? No, Will's Mike's dad.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
The one with the scar that's in the army, in the kind of military.
No, his son. What's his name? Is that Will? The
Oh
little
wait,
boy.
hang on. Wait, so the little boy
Yes.
that took a picture of Pennywise at the gravestone. No, he got that last shot at the end.
Yes.
That is going to be Mike Hanlon's father.
Yes. So we know in the whole of the show he's not going to die because he goes on to have Mike.
Wow,
Sick.
That's
It's
cool.
sick. It's fantastic.
That is
spoilers.
awesome.
Great. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh, yeah, sorry, spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah, spoilers, guys. Spoilers.
But also we know that Dick Halloran is going to make a place called the Black Spot where, so you know in episode 1 you see him going, is it on 1 or 2? I don't remember. But you see him and his soldier buddies go to a bar and then like the bar owner comes over and they're like okay, we need to go, guys, we need to go.
Yeah.
In the books, Dick Halloran makes a place called the Black Spot where the black soldiers can go drink and like chill out, but then
That's
racists burn it down. So how we're seeing Dick's grandmother coming to him in fire and stuff, I'm like, ooh, is she warning him about the Black Spot? Because she's always in fire.
That is profound.
So it is clever, irrelevant whether you like the program or not. When they're feeding in different things and all that stuff, it makes it feels like it's worth sticking.
That's
the
what I'm saying.
course.
I'm loving learning other aspects of that world. I think that for me is the hook. Like you're saying, some of the dodgy CGI, but I love the characters. I think they're really endearing. I kind of love how they did a spoiler alert again. I love how they did a Game of Thrones, like in the first episode. And they talked about this in the publicity, how they go, did you notice how the poster changed? And I'm like, wait a minute, that's genius though. But how certain characters get taken out in the first episode, you're like, what?
Yeah.
I love it. Be that brave. And now we're following the other characters and they're just as amazing. And it's like, it's such a great little journey we're going on.
And you know what? I just to say, I haven't seen what I can remember another horror film or horror TV show that have done that, changing the poster, because basically, or kind of throwing people off the scent with the poster. Because I was thinking, oh yeah, Scream did that, of course, because Drew Barrymore was like the face and all the Scream posters. Then obviously she was the first kill in number 1, right?
Yes.
So I was like, oh, they changed the poster.
Do you not remember the first Scream poster? Billy had like a beard. and in the film he didn't have a beard once. The
What?
original Scream poster, he's got like a proper goatee, and in
I
the
can't
film he's clean
believe it.
shaven the entire time.
Oh,
Like
it's
One thing
continuity
we
shot
should-
beard. Yeah, he's clean shaven.
no way. No, the poster. I
A
can't
5 o'clock shadow when he's trying
Yeah,
to.
he's got the little moustachey thing when he's later on, doesn't he?
It's not a little moustache. He's got full creeper tash. Look,
Maybe they got rid of it because they went. He looks like the murderer. He looks
Yeah,
like
he
a
look-
murderer.
he-
man.
Yeah, that's gonna freak too many people out.
you're not really gonna
Remove-
be able to see, I don't think. But in the poster, he looks like a murderer.
Oh my god, the poster. Yeah,
He looks
Looks like
like
William
Johnny
Shakespeare.
Depp. He looks like Johnny Depp.
He does.
Yeah.
He didn't have much of a movie career after that, did he? I don't think.
What
No.
else was he actually in?
He was great.
Yeah, it was
Dunno.
so good.
I think he was
The-
just
the-
in that poster in the movie.
They've been everywhere the last year or two from like promoting the fact that Scream 6 came out and just being around because I
He
think
was
they're all.
in the last Scream movie.
But that's
Well,
what's
he's in the reflection.
Yes,
so
like
that's
Flash-
that's the only thing that's interesting about Scream 7, aside of the politics side of things, is that I think all the bad guys are coming back, whether they died or not. I think they're going to make an appearance somehow. I don't know if it's going to be a
I wonder how they're gonna
callback or
try-
something.
I
do
know
that.
I've got it. I got it locked in. I know exactly. Well, it's not exactly, but I've got a good feeling. I know it's going to happen. I feel like it's going to be some sort of commentary on like AI or deep fakes, and someone's going to like have holograms of them or some shit, or like use something like a chat GPT and like something like that. It's going to be something like a hologram.
So the irony is, people are
Alexa.
scared about AI taking over actors, but this film's going to be about AI, and we're going to use real actors to pretend to be AI.
Wearing
I would
AI. Yeah.
really put money on it. It's going to be some sort of like hologram, like voice changer, but they're like manipulating their voices from the past because they've
There'll be
got
a drone attack.
Oh.
Yeah,
CGI
get
with a knife.
drones in, get the drones in. Or that is what I reckon. Because of course Randy had all the footage of the guys talking and chilling, like, you know. So I feel like someone's going to get those old VHSs that Randy had, and then clone the voices from that, and then put it in a voice to there.
You've just reminded me of something. I had this conversation with someone the other day because I've been on a bit of a horror kick lately for the last like 3 or 4 months, just watching every horror from like the good ones to like the new Steamboat Mickey horror, the Popeye horror, the Sailor Man horror,
Yes.
just real
We
good
already
stuff and
think
real
that's-
Yeah,
bad
Winnie
stuff.
the Pooh.
So
We think
I've worked out one thing. There's one thing that you never see in a horror movie that would single-handedly ruin most horror movies. One item you never see, and it would ruin
Mobile
most
phone.
Candlestick.
Apple Watch. Because how many times are they on their phone? It's like, and it gets dropped and it gets smashed or something like that, or they can't reach it or something. You know, just like, yeah, there's a murderer. Can you just like come to my house? Yeah, cool. Just wait 5 minutes.
Game over.
They're always the phone is always in it. They're always on a phone. It always gets lost or like dropped, especially in slashers. They're always getting blood on them, or like someone puts them in a cake, or like it's just. Yeah, in the new Halloween, they're at a party and the guy takes a girl's phone and puts it in like a trifle or something, and then she hasn't got her phone. It's like, just get a bloody Apple Watch.
That's why all the good horrors these days are nostalgic, because they're basing them in the 80s or the 70s or something like that, because you can't have many good horrors these days unless you think outside the box, because, like you said, call for help. There's always signal.
Yeah.
So you've
And
got
people-
to take that.
Well, I don't know.
out.
If they're on O2, that would be a horror movie because I never get signal. They're like, oh, he's
That
going to be
is
safe.
horror.
And then
It's
it
safe
goes
game.
like some horror
Great.
music with zooms into the O2 logo.
Wait, 7 people were murdered because they were with O2. You're like,
That'd
okay,
be a
that's
good
a shame.
advert for Vodafone.
Yeah,
Just a crime scene, like a bloody crime scene, like loads of teens or something. And it's
could have
like,
called for help. Get
could
on a
have called
better
for help, and it
service.
zooms into one of their phones. It's got like no bars, and then the police come in, and he opens his Vodafone phone, full service 5G. Hello.
No, what it is,
Dude,
the police officer is
picture around
actually
Halloween. Pitch it to like Vodafone or some shit. Picture.
the police officer's Kevin Bacon, and it's for an EE ad. He's like, they should have been with EE.
But it's
Oh, that'd
funny
be great. Yeah, Kevin
how-
Bacon would be perfect.
with like you were talking about like the newer Halloweens, like Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends and all that stuff. It's so funny because redoing these franchises that have like years of legacy, all that stuff, it's like they forget what the fans remember. It's like the lore. So that guy in Halloween Ends literally took off or went to take off Michael Myers' mask, right? And he actually, did he take it off and give it to him? Because I thought he was wearing it at one point as well.
Yeah, Halloween, the last trilogy loses it. The last film, Michael Myers isn't even really in it. It's about some weird little protege. It's kind of a bit of a strange decision they went down. He's kind of all battered and bruised, but the guy in the first one shows up and he's like taunting him with the mask, and then he kills him and gets it back, and then he's just running around after Jamie Lee Fox for a couple of hours, and then they are
Jamie Lee
good, but the
Foxx.
last one's completely like, it doesn't even mention Michael Myers. I watched it and was like, is it even the right film? Like, just starts with some kids in a bar or whatever, and it's like, what am I watching? Then he's like
Yeah.
hanging about in
wrong
a
film.
tunnel like a Ninja Turtle. It's like, what?
James, you just said Jamie Foxx.
Jamie
You meant
Foxx, did I
Jamie Lee
say?
Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. That would have made it funny, wouldn't it, if Jamie Foxx
We
was in it?
know who you mean, we know who
Everyone's
you
just
mean.
chasing Jamie Foxx.
Very different film.
He would have
there.
been great in a horror movie.
He would have been sick in horror movie.
Jamie Foxx is in a vampire comedy horror film. Have you seen that?
I love
no.
Jamie Foxx.
The CGI's all right in that, actually. I remember that. That's, yeah.
Oh,
I haven't
no.
seen it.
It's genuinely really good.
Yeah.
Amelia, do you know what I'm on about?
Oh,
No.
Nope.
What is this?
Wasn't
hang on, I'm
that
gonna jump on
old?
and
One
try
of
and
Kev's
find it.
B-rated movies, pulling out the Channel
There
5
it is.
special.
It's called Day Shift.
No idea.
Oh, I've seen that
Yeah.
advertised. Is that about vampires?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got Dave
Dave.
Franco and Snoop Dogg.
I'm in.
What?
It's good fun.
You have
Maybe
to
the
Snoop
poster
Dogg.
for him saw it. Like, what
It
is
is good
this?
fun.
It's
No, I've not
actually
seen that.
awesome. It is
It is good
perfect.
fun.
It's a film you watch thinking it's going to be a Sunday afternoon piece of shit, but comical and entertaining, but nothing special. It is actually amazing.
Oh,
Jamie
sick.
Foxx has never been in a bad movie.
It's great. Directed by J.J. Parry. Yeah,
Mm.
really good. Anyway,
Nice.
I was going to talk about Amelia, what would you say, like, this year, your favorite sort of movies, especially, I know you focus more on the horror side, but what's been your kind of takeaway sort of favorite horrors of this year?
So it was Sinners, just because it was great. But actually, when it comes to horror films, I don't think that Sinners was outwardly horror. However, I'm quite a desensitized human. So I watched it with some friends and they were like, oh my God. I was like, is it scary? I don't know. I wouldn't call it like a horror film, but if that's what Ryan Coogler wants to call it, I will not argue with the man. It is fine. So Sinners was sick. But then Frankenstein was fucking beautiful. It was so sick. I loved it. Frankenstein was brilliant.
Would you say it's a horror? I think that's even less of a horror.
Is that the
no?
Galter?
I think,
Do you like
yes,
Del Toro?
Del Toro. I would
Yeah.
say, I think with gothic romance and gothic horror, I think it's more the situation that is the horror of it. And I like the way it didn't lead outwardly into making it really, really grotesque or outwardly like, bah! Because the situation of it being a gothic horror was the fact that Victor Frankenstein is a monster and he's created this creature. And that kind of situation was for me, like the horrific angle, like this is the bedline of the horror. So yeah, I really liked that. I thought it was beautiful. And what else? What else has even come out this year? This year's been mad.
It's been a bit of a horror year, hasn't it? We had
well,
a bit of a spate of them come out recently.
You had
None
like
of them were in the head.
at the beginning you had like Nosferatu, which was last year for America, but it was January for UK.
Yeah, that was this year.
There was
You had Presence, which wasn't really a horror. That
Weapons.
Poltergeist one.
Oh no, dude! The Presence was so no. I really liked Presence.
I did too. It just wasn't a horror, was it? It was. In fact, it was ended up being quite lovely.
Let's bring her
Quite
back.
nice. Yeah.
Bring her back.
Bring her back.
Weapons.
Just the Australian one.
Weapons. Oh yeah, that was this year too.
The Conjuring 75.
Oh
Yeah.
god,
Yeah,
spinning
There's
mirror
another one coming
film.
out already.
Companion,
really?
the monkey.
As well as the series for the Conjuring.
Yeah, it's the series. There's no film coming out.
There is no film.
No.
That was the final one, James.
Oh, was
And
it?
so
Oh, it must be a
that's what
series I've seen then. The
that's
Monkey was
Conjuring,
the
the
number one
final one.
film that these two sold me on not seeing.
The monkey was
What?
atrocious.
You
The
know,
monkey.
when you were talking about it, it sounded like the worst film ever made. Like a little monkey in a box, and every time he does that, like it's like I'm not watching that.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
It
great
sounds
idea.
great.
It's funny,
They
but
could have.
it's
It was a great idea. Obviously, like a Stephen King short film, right? And they could have made it so much better. I don't know the name of the lead actor, but he just became quite like his brother, like the twin, right? And
Yeah,
yeah, he was
Oswald.
funny.
bloody annoying. I was like, he kept
Yeah, it's
saying
the
like,
guy from The
oh, like
Gentleman.
haha, or whatever.
I like that Twyla from Schitt's Creek, if you've seen that, was in it.
No, I haven't
She
seen Schitt's
popped up.
Creek.
If you're not,
What?
Oh, no,
Oh,
no.
you love Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek is awesome.
that's
Ooh,
awesome.
okay.
That's a really funny.
Together
Good
was another one as well. That had some
Oh yeah, that was the
interesting
scene
CGI,
too.
but it was good.
Yeah, and also what came out and it went straight. Oh, Good Boy. Good Boy was this year as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I saw
With the
that. That
hound.
was really good.
That was
Did you say you've seen that?
Yeah,
What did you
Good Boy
think?
was good. I liked it. I think talking about like horror films that like shift perspectives, like shifts the POV. I think it was so clever to do something we'd never seen. A horror film from the dog's perspective. Freaking sick. The dog was freaking adorable, and not even a dog
Yeah.
person. Dog was great. Um, but again, I think if they wanted to, they could have turned up the horror element and made it more scary. But it was fine. I don't think it necessarily needed to be turned up in the horror element of it. But yeah, I thought it was really cute. It was good. It was all right.
Amelia, can I ask a question just in regards to Sinners? Because I
No,
think I've asked another guest this before, I think. But in regards to the trailer, right? Just say they kept it more like a drama, like these two brothers, they're setting up a barn, they're going to play some music, and you just see a gun going off, like one of the Tommy guns going off. I'm still going to see that film, right?
Yeah.
And if anything, I wonder if I would have been scared when it went into the horror element. But I worry that because they tried to pitch the trailer as a come and see the vampires, that they actually killed its USP.
That's an interesting point.
But would have as
similar to
many
Dusk
people
Till
gone.
Dawn, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Again,
Dusk
From
Till
Dusk-
Dawn got you.
Yeah, but the difference is that when From Dusk Till Dawn came out, trailers weren't really quite as huge of a thing,
Yeah.
and everyone saw it on VHS. It wasn't really like a cinema film back then. It was
Yeah.
I saw it on VHS and was shocked that Salma Hayek turned into a vampire. I was like, what? I didn't
Yeah.
sign up for this.
What was I can't remember what the film. I'm trying to remember, but Drew, that's a massive, massive point because I think at the moment we get like 2 trailer drops, right? We get like the first
Yes.
trailer, then the second trailer. Dude, we don't need it all. Like we don't need it all.
100%.
I can't remember what
The first trailer didn't show it though, because this is what I was saying. We talk a lot about this in Rage Whale, that trailers are becoming more clickbait and they're becoming spoilers, ironically, or they're giving away things that aren't even part of a narrative for something. And they're just like, and this little clip, you're like, yeah, but that's a massive spoiler. Why have you put that in there? Oh, but it looks good. It will bring people in. Yeah, but you just ruined a massive part of a reveal.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel the first trailer they did have was the 2 brothers. It was the barn. It was setting stuff up, and it was the Tommy gun. And then you saw like some flames, and then you saw the brother hold the other one. They were like, and I was like, I'm in. Like, I'm in. Like, my bum's on the seat. I've got my ticket. Don't worry. And then the second one, they just started adding loads of vampire stuff. Like, so you knew who was going to become a vampire, because I can't remember her name, but you saw her with the fangs and the blood coming
Haley
down her mouth.
Steinfeld.
Yeah, Steinfeld, and like you're like, well, she's going to get turned.
Yeah.
Then you had Jack O'Connell like fangs out. He's clearly a vampire. You're like, what are you doing?
For me, that started ironically with Jordan Peele and Get Out, because I now famously don't watch trailers unless it's a film I don't like. I'll watch the trailer for Toy Story or something, but I don't watch trailers now because the trailer for Aliens showed loads of people getting killed. So I know they're going to get killed. The trailer for Get Out, though, I felt like I'd seen the movie. Like, I watched the movie and was so underwhelmed because I'd seen like maybe 3 trailers. I was like, well, I feel like I've already seen it. Like, yeah, there was that little twist you had, but I was like, I feel like I've seen this film. So since then, I've just edged off. I watched the first trailer, like a teaser, but then I just won't watch them again because I think they're so desperate because there's no DVD and Blu-ray and video sales now. which is used to save movies, like they rely so heavily on the box office now that
Mm,
they have to show you something amazing in the sort of thing to get you in there, and that's why they have to have all these. Like, it's very rare you'll see a movie do well with an unknown cast, like, which again where Jordan Peele like wins because he brings in new actors, but they have to have your Brad Pitts, your Bradley Coopers, because they need to get bums on seats, and it's kind of like, yeah, it gives too much away. Like Drew's right, it's like leave that first trailer would have got you, and then they just
yeah.
ruined it. It's like, oh great, it's a vampire film.
It's really funny because so my favorite film is Blade. Like Blade is a massive, like even
Great
I'm a
movie.
I'm a Flex Blade.
Oh, amazing.
There's only ever going to be one Blade.
Emilio,
Favorite
for the
and
listeners, Emilio showed us a massive blade tattoo on her arm.
That is
That's
awesome.
incredible.
I
Wait, is
love.
that what the samurai was? The samurai, is that his sword?
Oh
No.
no, that's not. I mean that
Oh,
one.
okay. Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
yeah, I love Blade, and I had this conversation about movie trailers with a friend, and I was like, well, I didn't see the Blade trailer when it came out because I wasn't watching trailers when it came out, so I watched it, and it's so long, and so much of the film is in the trailer, and that was obviously back in the 90s. So I was like, okay, am I just have I was I not around to really appreciate horror movie trailers back in the day and it's always been like this, or has social media now again metamorphosized and changed how we intake films? Because obviously there's content creators, there's people like me like, hey, this film's coming out. I get sent quite a lot of screeners for films, but I don't speak about the ones I don't like. Or if I do speak about a film and I don't like it, I'll say, I didn't like this, but you should see it because you might think it's awesome. Everyone's got different opinions, and that's why the world goes round and it's all lovely. But I think it's that as well. Just creators talking about things. I can't remember what we just spoke about. Was it not it? But we mentioned something, and I was like, it was okay. But oh no, I think it was it actually. How everyone was saying it was really boring, and I was like, it's not boring, but this might deter people from watching it because I now think it's going to be really boring. And I think, like you were saying, Drew, with like all these trailers and showing large parts of the films as well. Unfortunately, as we all know, we're living in a phone land. how, how films are fighting for your attention and to hold your attention because our attention spans are like mush, the rubbish. So I think maybe, and I don't agree with it, but just putting it together in my noggin, maybe films nowadays feel the need to show you what's going to happen. So you're like, hey, do come and watch this. All this cool shit's going to happen. We
Yeah.
promise, you
Do you know,
know?
you
Yeah,
make a
sorry.
really good point that maybe trailers have always been crap because even up to the mid 2000s, even to the mid to late 2000s when YouTube was coming about, if Kev was like, "Oh, by the way, have you seen this trailer?" I'd be like, "Oh no," because it's on after 9 o'clock or after 10 o'clock on a specific channel, and you're like, "No, not seen it," or you tend to hear of a film word of mouth. Whereas now, Kev's like, "Have you seen this trailer?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
But that's it. With
one
the,
quick
like
thing.
the trailers back in the 90s, you didn't see them unless you were in the cinema. They didn't show a 3-minute trailer on the TV. That didn't happen. It was little clips, but it was only in the cinema, so you had to be in the right atmosphere for it. Whereas now we're getting force fed it. I've seen the same trailer about 7 times today
Can
for
you
the
just
new Gwen
con-
Powell film.
can you
Yeah.
confirm or deny something for me? Wasn't Didn't videos and DVDs sometimes have trailers for other movies at the beginning?
Yeah.
What DVDs and
They
stuff?
did,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
that's
Can't
it. Yeah,
remember.
I
yeah.
Yeah,
These
guess
yeah.
were
that's one of them
too
like
soon,
No, they did
too
because I remember when I
soon
used
or
to watch
whatever.
the X Files. Before the X Files, it showed some of 24 because it was under Fox or
It
whatever it
seems
was.
pointless because by the time you buy a VHS, it could be well
Well, yeah, but
outdated.
the
Well,
irony
that's
is
what
I
I mean.
bought all of the X File videos, so it's like I'm not going to watch 24. I'm watching X Files. That's why I've got an X File
Is
video.
Yeah.
this one of them
Well,
things where you think you remember it, but it didn't actually happen, whatever that's called? Mandela
oh, the
effect.
Mandela effect.
Oh, the
Mandela
No, no.
effect,
Mandela
yeah.
effect.
But I was just going to say real quick, like what you were saying, Amelia. Like there was something a comedian and someone else was talking. Is it Rom? Oh, I can't
Ramesh.
remember his
Ramesh.
name now.
Ramesh
Ramesh.
Ranganathan.
Someone was interviewing him and they were talking about why TV is really shit these days. And the lady said it's to do with dual screening. And she says that people that are now writing screenplays, that it has to be so on the nose that characters are saying such cringy dialogue that if you do get tempted by your phone, you can still follow the fucking plot.
What? That's really sad. That's so
It's,
sad.
that is, if I'm honest, that is diluting art, because the
Mm.
whole point is it should immerse you. A film brings you in, like Kevin said in one of the episodes, when you get lost in a film and you forget that you've been on film sets or you've done things or you're connected to that whole kind of, media world, you just lose yourself and you feel like the character or what they're going through.
But you remember, like, lots of things are not run by artists; they're run by companies that want to make money.
Corporations, yeah.
So
Well, this
just
is what
get
Matt
loads
Damon
of
said
content out there, you make money, simple as. But the thing I want to end on, because we've taken up a lot of time, Amelia's thing, is like one of the videos that I loved and that you put out on your social media is a thought that I had coming out, because me and my partner went to see it, and she's like a massive Elvis fan, and we came out of Sinners and instantly looked at each other and went, is that basically, as you put it, an allegory for the music industry in the 50s and 60s, when black artists were not being, very limited amounts of them were being recognized, and they definitely weren't being paid for it, and it took a white person to do black music. And Elvis was, I don't think he stole it. He was just, he loved it and embraced it and was friends with other people in the community. But obviously, he skyrocketed when others didn't. And I just thought the way that film is fit, that the way Sinners is done, it's so perfect. The way it's written about the Jack O'Connell is the one that's kind of perpetrating everything. But
Yeah, no, that's another reason that I bloody loved Sinners, because there's so many different allegories in that film. There's, of course, like you said in that video that I did about like Elvis, and because Elvis kind of stole Little Richard's thing and Motown Records and all that stuff. Like, I'm a massive, as you know, massive music fan. So there was all of that kind of woven in there, and how because there's the moment where Sammy's singing in the juke joint, and then you see Remick outside, and he can kind of see into him, and then but also see all of his ancestors and how he's kind of made that sound, and he wants it for himself, but he can't really communicate it, so he just wants to take it, because Remick says that when they all become vampires, they can all share thoughts, right? So there was all of that, but then also I kind of felt like it was also, as Remick was very Irish, and that was his woven into character, that and Irish people, don't forget, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. They're another group of people that have also had terrible times. So I was like, is this also Remick trying to talk about his Irish heritage and not being able to verbalize it, and saying, I've gone through the same struggles. We all just need to be one people. We all just need to get together. If you become a vampire, we can make our own thing and it'll be great. And you can use your music to do that and come and connect us. There's also that. So there's so many different takeaways from it. Because he does a song called Rocky Road to Dublin, when they're all singing together and he's like dancing. And Rocky Road to Dublin was all about an Irish guy traveling back to Dublin from like having an awful time, and how people took the piss out of his accent. He didn't know where to go, he didn't know where to stay. And then Remick performs that song, because I spoke to an Irish friend about it, she told me about it. So I was like, that's very interesting that was the song he chose to sing and tried to coax them all to come outside. He's singing about, these are my experiences. I've been marginalized as well. Shit has happened to me as well. Sinners is so, it's fantastic. And I think the beauty of horror films in general, or just maybe it's just films, but all I watch is horror, is you can be in different stages in your life or have different experiences, watch it, and then it can mean something completely different to you. And it can change the meaning to it. Maybe the director meant one thing, like in Weapons. I can't remember the director. Craigers, was it Zach Craigers? I can't remember. But he was talking about how the parents were meant to be alcoholics, because he went through alcoholism as a child. So that's why the child was looking after the child was looking after the parents, because that's what he went through. And I was like, oh, I didn't get that. But that was obviously cathartic for him to do, right? So that's what I love about the film.
And it was about, sorry, just jumping on that, it was the control as well. That's where the control element comes from. The reason she uses that thing is because alcohol controlled his family.
Yeah.
So he used the element of control to be manipulated by a tool, which therefore was the alcohol, which is what the lady uses to manipulate everyone.
And that's what's good about these films, isn't it? Like, I think, like, especially with Sinners, there's so much to it. It's so deep. You know, just that one dancing scene with all the ancestors, that was an emotional scene to watch in the cinema. That kind of hit me. And I think there's so much. A lot of people just look at things on the surface level, like bring it back to our first conversation. There are deeper meanings behind these, and it's not just on face value. There's stuff you can learn about these characters and what they're meaning. And what Ryan Coogler did there is generally, like, even if someone wants to argue it's not the best film of the year, it's a fucking important film.
Oh
I think
gosh.
it gives a lot to the audience, and it changes people's perspectives. And you got 2 Michael B. Jordans. What more do you want?
I mean, please, what more do you want? The man is gorgeous.
I've
But
just got
yeah,
2 things I want to say before we do wrap up, because I got a feeling we've only kind of scratched the surface on this conversation. Like,
Yeah, we need you back, Amelia, if that's all
100%
right.
need a
oh yeah,
part
that's fun as
two.
well.
But two
Yeah.
things going back. One is a horror movie recommendation if you haven't already seen it, but I've got a feeling you probably have, the Poughkeepsie tapes.
Yes, yeah, it's freaking weird and horrible. Yes, it's great.
And
Yeah.
the other one, now I'm not an advocate for illegal streaming, but this may be the only way to watch this. The film Drive, a bit of a favourite for a lot of people, not horror, but Drive with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
One of the
yeah, yeah.
best scores, Cliff Martinez, of any film ever. Um, in 2014, BBC Radio 1 rescored it. So they rescored it with the likes of Churches, 1975, Bastille, Bring Me the Horizon, Laura Mvula, and more. And it completely changes the movie. It's no longer on BBC One, but I'm sure a few bit of Googling could find it. But it completely alters the movie.
That's interesting.
It's
Because it's
pretty.
Sick.
I
pretty
think
much a mute
Zane Lowe
film,
did
isn't
it.
it? It's pretty much mute, just with music.
Yeah, so the original one's all 80s music and quite sort of like techno, sort of
Yeah.
keyboard stuff, whereas this is completely different. And it's like all indie and rock, and you're like, really changes like the intensity of like the scenes and that. Because when he's driving the car in the getaway, there's not really a lot of music going on. It's really just the car engines. But when you've got like, if you can imagine Bring Me the Horizon over that, it just turns it into an action movie. It's like, it's really cool. You could probably find it somewhere. It used to be on iPlayer, but hasn't been for a
Ooh,
number of years. But I'm sure it could be
Oh,
found.
Did they change his
wicked.
scorpion jacket to a butterfly as well?
No, they didn't change any of the physical stuff, just the music.
well, thank you very much for joining us today, Amelia. We genuinely really appreciate it. We think it was. Thank you very much for coming on. It's always a privilege when someone says yes. So thank you for indulging us. And
No,
if you would be up for it again, no pressure. We would like to have you back on again.
hell yeah, no, this has been fun. Thanks for having me. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't
Thanks
even think we'd get onto movies. We were talking about music for so long, but but no, amazing. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time, hopefully.
Awesome. Okay, my dudes, just drop me a message, all the stuff. As you know, I'm rubbish at DMs on Instagram because I literally just go on, post something, and then I just leave it alone because I'm just like, meh. But I will get back to you. If not, email me or something.
Yeah. Thank you very much. See you
Yeah.
later.
You guys, thanks. Bye.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you had a whale of a time.
Thank you all for your continued support, and please do check out our other fun episodes with many great and interesting guests. And just to let you know, we're also on YouTube if you want to also watch us. But do give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok, and we'd love a cheeky 5-star rating on here if you had a moment. And if you do want to support us further, we do have merch. The links are here and on our socials. It's ragewhale.tmill.com. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.